gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel. And today is YouTube fight we must see in 2023. Also, I want to thank you, check me right there, for the support I've had in the last few videos. It's been absolutely amazing. I know I thank you every episode, but it has been. The views I was looking through my analytics or something. Yeah, I'm not in my stats. I'm gonna say stats, and it was like in the last like certain amount of days I've had like I think it was like in the last 7 days I've had 533 views, which is just outstanding. Gaining subs and stuff. I've only gained one sub since I've started again, but it doesn't matter to me. Right now it's about entertaining people, and people click on my videos and be like, "No, that was a good video," and that's my aim every video. So today I'm gonna tell you some matchups I would like to see. And I haven't really wrote them in order on my little checklist there, um, but I'll look through them now and tell you. And there's a few on there that I've put down as like ones that aren't like main events, or it could be main event on a smaller show, but you'll be able to tell which ones. Sorry, I'm not well. I've got a bad cough. So basically, this one I am putting. I'm just gonna put this one first because it's not really influencer boxing. It's a real boxer versus a retired-ish kind of guy. So it's the fight I want to see. So Hasim Rahman Jr. or Rahman Jr. signed with Misfits, I believe, or he's had a fight deal with Misfits or something. For Greg Hardy, he got demolished. He was meant to fight Belfort. I still want to see that fight. I want to see Belfort versus Hasim, or I want to say Hasim versus Jake Paul. But if Hasim fights Jake Paul, I don't want a bad hydration clause. I want it to be a fair fight as I can. And I know Jake's doesn't want to come up sort of heavyweight the fight because Jake's on a heavyweight. I know Roman could definitely be lower. I can probably get in a cruiserweight. I'd like to see a cruiserweight matchup between them two. But maybe try and meet in the middle if they can. But we'll see about that one. So that's the first fight. I think Hasim would beat Belfort. I also think Hasim would probably beat Jake Paul as well. No, I think he would beat Jake Paul right now. But I don't know about Hasim. I feel like he's kind of what I don't want to say like failed talent because he's still got the time on his hands. I just feel like he hasn't really took boxing seriously, and he's admitted it stuff like that in the past. But that's the first one. Second one, what should I do? I'll do this one. Taylor Holder or Austin McBroom versus Deji. Now, I think this would be a great fight. I think the better one for Deji would probably be Austin McBroom. I don't think we'll see Taylor Holder till later this year, so it could be one down the line. But I think Austin McBroom versus Deji would be a good fight. Austin coming off a loss, Deji coming off the Mayweather fight with the win before that against Fusi, which was a great win. I think that'd be a good fight for Deji. I think he'd be able to showcase a lot more against Austin. Austin is a decent boxer, but I think his stamina let him down a bit against Gib, and Gib just demolished him after a shaky start from Gib, really. So that is another one. I think Deji beats McBroom. And then I think Deji versus Taylor Holder would be a really, really 50-50 fight. But a fight I think Deji would come through because from the Taylor Holder fight, Taylor, he, how do I put this? He kind of like got there and he was like, ooh, I think he was taken a bit back, to be honest, back with his when he fought Nissan Gib. So I believe that Deji would probably win that fight, but apparently Taylor's one of the best technical boxers. He's got a great boxing coach as well. He's got a great team. And they say he's really good, like better than some pros, and I know that can be like, oh, well, of course he's going to say that. And of course, yeah, they will say that because, they want as much money as they can gain. They want a bigger following, so they're going to get that through Taylor. It's going to be personal arse licks, really, to Taylor to get there, That's what people have to do, and that's what people want to do. I mean, I'm not like that. I wouldn't be like that, but yeah, so it's the third fight I think one now. I would like to see Bryce Hall versus Jay Swingler. I was really impressed by Jay, and even before he had his fight, through fight week, watching him on the pads, watching training clips of him, I was actually really impressed. And I was saying to people, I went, watch Jay Swingler. He looks good, and I was like, he's only doing it on the pads, so I'm not going to say, oh, he's quite good yet, but watch him. Gets the fight week, and I know Sheralides, as I always say his name, didn't really, he had nothing really. I think, did he land one punch of that? But yeah, he just got torn apart by Jay. So Jay vs Bryce Hall. I've been watching Bryce's new training footage. He looks good, man. He looks decent. I think that'd be a good matchup. I think it would be good for Jay's development, getting a win against Bryce Hall and nice belt. And then Bryce would be like, well, I'm not the favourite here, but I'm coming to win, I'm coming to upset you, and I'm coming to get the fights that you're craving, the bigger fights. And he needs redemption. He can't lose. I'm telling you now, Bryce Hall cannot leave on a loss. He cannot leave YouTube Box on a loss, and I don't think he's done. I do not think he's done. Ooh, we're getting a good fights now, and I'm going to call this one because I've already fought before. Well, there's two that's already fought before, so I'll do them two next. It's Dean the Great versus Waleed Sharks, who, in the first fight, Waleed was dominating. Waleed had the upper hand in the fight, he was doing well. Is he a Golden Glove? I saw something on YouTube saying that Waleed Sharks was a Golden Glove winner. I searched it up and I couldn't find anything, so I think it might be, I don't know. You tell me, guys, you please tell me. I'm going to search it up again after this. I'm actually intrigued to know if he was, but apparently he's boxed before Waleed, and Dean the Great has fought these street fights, really. So it was a good boxing display from Waleed Sharks, and then Dean the Great, man, pulled it out the bag with a terrific shot, knocking him out. And obviously Waleed believed he should have been stopped. He should have been stopped. He turned around, he was on the ropes like that. The count had passed 10. You're done, You can't get leeway in boxing, just because you're a YouTuber. You do not. Well, I've done you, mate. You do not get leeway, You have the 10 count. If you don't make the 10 count, then it's done, But he believes that you shouldn't have, and I think if they fight again, could be a different result. You'd have to be a lot more cautious, Waleed. But this could give Dean the Great confidence. Could be up here, Who knows? But I would love to see that again. If they fought again, I'd probably back Waleed to win, just through watching how good he is at boxing, and he's still going to continue. But I don't think Waleed vs Dean will happen next, but I think it'll happen after their next. I think by the end of the year, you might get this fight again, but I kind of get what Dean the Great is saying, well, I don't need to fight you again. I've just beat you. Why? I've just knocked you out as well. Not beat you. I've just knocked you out. So why am I fighting you again? And he's got a point. Fair play to him. He has knocked him out, and I don't blame him for saying that. He wants bigger fights. So we'll see what happens there. But I do believe that fight should happen again. If he did go and knock out or just beat Waleed again, then you've got to say, well, Waleed's got to say, well, the better man's won, and Dean the Great will say, I'm the best at my weight right now. But that's a fight I don't see. Another fight I'd like to see is, and he's on the list twice, this guy, is FaZe Temperrr versus King Kenny. Come on. Who does not want to see that fight? Both with great knockouts in Austin, Texas. Was it Austin, Texas? Did the fight? I think so. Both got good knockouts. I was really impressed with FaZe Temperrr's 1-2, and now look at FaZe Temperrr. Dylan Dennis drops out. Dildo Dennis drops out. FaZe Temperrr fighting Mystery Front. There you go, KSI. Huge, huge, huge opportunity for KSI. Just remember, if he beats KSI, he's like the was it the ICB world champion? The champion of the influencers. Huge, huge opportunity. Who do I think wins with Kenny and FaZe Temperrr? I don't know. I think this is a really, really 50-50 fight now. Watching both of them, I think they both had similar amount of fights, similar amount of time boxing now. If I had to pick a winner on the spot, I'm going to back my boy Kenny, because he's from England, But if Temperrr went and beat KSI, I don't think he will, but if Temperrr goes and beats KSI, which it can happen, I wouldn't be surprised, then you'd have to say, Temperrr's the best YouTube boxer other than Jake Paul. There you go. But and by the way, I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if Temperrr wins. I wouldn't be, because I think he's got the awkwardness, and he's southpaw and rangy and tall. It would be an upset though. That's what I'm saying. It would be an upset, a huge, huge upset. But that's another fight I'd like to see. Another fight including FaZe Temperrr, which I would like to see, is FaZe Temperrr versus Alex Wasabi. Everyone, even Wade, talks about Alex Wasabi, saying he's seen him fight, and he says he's very impressed with Alex. Well, sparring's different and all that, but apparently Alex is quite good, and I know he pulled out KSI, and I don't think he'll get a chance on the Misfits card again. I would like to see him fight, I don't think Alex is a bad guy. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt with the concussion. But I would like to see Temperrr versus Alex. I think Temperrr wins the fight, because just for the simple fact that Temperrr's boxed a lot longer, had more fights. So I would probably back. Well, I would back FaZe Temper to win that. But there is some good fights out there for Alex as well. So like that Deji rematch would be a good fight for Alex. It'd be a good fight for Deji. You get to say outright, you beat me, I beat you again. There we go. Call it quits. So have a trilogy. I wouldn't really want to say trilogy of Wasabi versus Deji. But if they fight again, I wouldn't mind it. But it'd have to be if Alex Wasabi fights Deji for me now, that would have to be an undercard fight, and I just can't see Deji fighting an undercard unless it was like an undercard of Jake Paul KSI, which had Logan, Deji, just a stacked card bottom of the top where they're all gonna get immense paydays. Right, we're down to the final five, and I'm gonna go for because I've got Jake Paul on this list twice, so I'm gonna say Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. From what I know, this fight is done. It's happening. Jake put a video on Instagram the other day saying that Tommy's running again. And Tommy put a video out saying, I'm not running, I'm here. I'll fight you for free. I'll fight you in Manchester, London, I'll fight you in England, and I'll fight you for free. What I'm hearing is they've both agreed to fight in Saudi Arabia, with Tommy getting £2.5 million. So, you'd imagine Tommy takes that payday. He's got a baby on the way. You want to hope that happens, but yeah, we'll see. So that's one out of the way. I think Tommy would. I don't know with this fight. I'm gonna say Tommy on points. I think Tommy would beat Jake on points. And then what else have we got? My mouse just came in. If you can hear that, sorry. But also there is. Oh, this one. I think this would be a good fight. Logan Paul versus JMX. Who wins that fight? Logan Paul wins that fight for me. I think JMX had like experience in boxing before. He's fought. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's had 3 boxing fights. I think he fought at Skinty, and then he fought Mike Fox and Richard the Coach or something like that. He fought them 3, and then there was also an MMA fight he won. So he's undefeated. JMX never lost a fight. So I think that'd be a good fight. JMX, I just think Logan Paul's got this massive physical. JMX is physical, don't get me wrong. I think Logan Paul's got this build, physical, athletic. I just think Logan Paul would get the better in that fight, but JMX is fighting again soon apparently, so I'll watch that and then judge them. If them two do fight, Logan Paul, JMX, which I could see happening in the future, I will judge it on JMX's last couple of fights, because I think against Ginty he couldn't really do it. He needs a tough fight, like JMX, Josh Bruckner type of fight, to say, oh, you know what, fair enough. Next, we have 3 fights, guys, and the first one we go for is Gabe versus Salt Papi. Now this would be a great fight. Counter punching Slim Papi. I'm sorry guys, I'm not well if I'm keeping like in my nose, but Gabe versus Salt Papi. This Salt Papi, the slick boxer, counter puncher. Gabe the aggressor, come forward, backhands, anything, pressure, intensity, everything, great conditioning, everything on any song. Gabe. Who wins that fight for me? Gabe. Gabe's had the harder test. Gabe's fought the Jake Paul. Did get beat, but he's fought the Jake Pauls. He's fought Austin McBroom. He's fought Taylor Holder. And Scott Papi's only fought Andy Rosowski, who he knocked out, but who is he? And then he couldn't even stop Halal Ham. But I am impressed with Salt Papi. But I just think Gabe, harder fights. Gabe wins this fight right at this moment. But we'll see in the Josh Bruckner fight on the 14th. Make sure you buy the pay-per-view. We'll see what happens. Next one includes Gabe again. It's Gabe versus Slim. What a fight this is. Slim will have the range on everything on Gabe. I think Gabe would go through Slim, I think Gabe would end up actually stopping Slim. It'd be a really good fight, a 50-50 fight. And these are the fights people want to see, 50-50 fights where they're both similar match, and it's like you don't know who's going to win. That's what you want. You don't want a guy just to run through a guy, because then it'd be boring just watching like, say, against KSI and Swarms, just watching KSI beat up Swarms. No one really cares. So that fight, I'd love to see that happen. I'm going to say Gib wins that fight against Slim, but Slim, he's every time Slim said Slim's not going to win, Slim's won. So he's fighting Tom Zanetti. I've actually backed Tom Zanetti by knockout with Slim controlling the fight. I think there's something there with Tom Zanetti can bang. And then the last fight, guys, is KSI versus Jake Paul, the mega fight everybody wants. I want it. You want it. All of America wants it. Whole of England, United Kingdom wants it. Every country wants this. Who do I think wins? I'm a back KSI, but really Jake Paul's the huge favourite in this fight. So you would say Jake Paul, but I'm gonna say KSI no. But yet again, a fight that right now Jake Paul wins for me because you haven't seen what you've seen KSI just fought. He's come back against Swarms and Pineda. Fights on the 14th against Face Temper. Give KSI Face Temper, Joe Fournier, Tyrone Woodley, and then on fight week I'll give you my prediction of who wins Jake Paul or KSI. I don't think the Jake Paul KSI fight happens this year now because apparently Jake Paul's gonna fight Tommy Fury. And then apparently he's going to fight a boxing match against an MMA fighter Nate Diaz, and then a MMA fight against Nate Diaz. So that's 3 fights for Jake Paul, and if he fights Nate Diaz in an MMA fight, that is a death wish. Like, you do not fight Nate Diaz in an MMA fight, Jake Paul. You are crazy. So I don't know if Jake Paul's trolling with MMA, because surely he's a lot smarter than going in a cage with Nate Diaz. I think you would knock out Nate in a boxing ring. Or just beat him up in a boxing ring, but you ain't gonna do shit to Nate Diaz in a MMA fight. So yeah, guys, I want to thank you for watching. You know, make sure you buy the DAZN pay-per-view. I'm not fighting on it. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm gonna fight on DAZN. I'm gonna fight on a Misfits card soon, hopefully. But you know, make sure you tune in. It's gonna be some great fights on the card. Steve KSI comes through his test, but please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.